Being completely honest with you, I think my next major purchase for content creation is going to be a stool that I can sit on so I could be up a little bit higher. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be better framed for the shot. In any case, about a year and a half ago, give or take a few months, I made a video that was titled So I Started Reading Again. And the point of that video back then was to basically announce to my, at the time, very active community that I was giving up the pursuit of full-time content creation in favor of a more peaceful life. The thing about content creation in general is that once you get started, like in the very beginning, everything is kind of just fine. You don't really have much to worry about because your videos are getting maybe a couple of hundreds of views, and you get like 3 or 4 people who are regularly like talking, and you don't have to deal with much. But after a while, especially when you get as big as I was in the DVD community, you start dealing with some generally shit people. You'll start to not only build a fan base, but what I like to call a hater base. People whose entire identity is wrapped around just making your life as miserable as possible. They've been banned from the channel now, so I don't know if they still do it, but there were legitimately a group of people who would watch every video of mine with like my notifications turned on or something, just so they could be one of the first ones to race to leave some sort of a hate comment. I had one guy who was so obsessed with like hating my content that even when he agreed with the stuff I was saying, he would try to like micro nitpick as much shit as he could find wrong with the video. It was genuinely insane. So between that and the massive harassment that I had to deal with at the time, I just didn't want to deal with it. And that outlook on life hasn't changed, like, at all. You'll notice that even though I have these small bursts of making a lot of content, I oftentimes will flip-flop the kind of content that I'm making, or I'll just go like a couple of weeks or even sometimes a month or two without making any content at all. And that is because content creation is just a hobby for me. I make videos when I feel like making videos, when I think the videos are going to do well, or when I just think that it's something interesting for me to talk about. And that's kind of why I'm moving toward this very much slower upload schedule with historical documentaries, because I can take my time on them, and there's stuff that I like learning about, and I learn about history anyway in my spare time, so I just thought that that would be the better picture. But this video is mostly just me kind of unloading some irritation off my chest. But before I do that, in the background, you'll be seeing that I'm playing some Age of Empires, maybe Diablo. I haven't decided what to put back there, but that's all from my Twitch stream. So if you want to just like hang out and have conversations, I do cozy gaming on Twitch now. I put down competitive gaming. Just when I say I want a peaceful life, I meant it. And competitive gaming PvP games in general just aren't peaceful, man. I cannot unwind playing any kind of PvP games. It's just not possible. But anyway, that aside, yeah, I just wanted to rant. So part of my idea, let me lay out you guys my idea of a peaceful life. Okay, my idea of a peaceful life is living by myself with maybe 1 or 2 cats. And I spend most of my days, if I'm working a normal job, I want to work in a bookstore or a library, just somewhere around literature. And in my spare time, either making historical documentaries or whatever YouTube video about whatever I want to talk about at the time, or playing cozy games on stream or writing. And I would like to be able to either live in a studio apartment or maybe like a cabin close to the edge of like a forest with a hiking trail or something. I just want a simple, peaceful, quiet life where I'm not constantly stressing about everything. And I'm beginning to think it's impossible. And it may just be where I'm located at in Kansas. So very obviously, the first thing that always comes to my mind when it comes to a peaceful life is I want to own and run my own bookstore. But I don't want to just go out and get a small business loan and start running a bookstore. That's not the idea that I had in mind for my life. That's not what I was thinking of doing at any given point. What I wanted to do instead was start working at a bookstore first, get the experience, and then eventually, go out and open my own, because there's a lot about the industry that I just don't know about. I don't know about, distribution. I recently learned that most bookstores work with like a set amount of distributors, and if the distributors don't have the books that you need, then you can't get them. Like a bookstore. So when I worked at a comic book store, we could order like newer comics for people. But if our distributors didn't have them, we would just go on Amazon or something and order it for them there. Apparently bookstores don't do that. Like Barnes & Noble, for example, didn't have a book that I was looking for. I was looking specifically for a hard copy of Rituals and Relations, Rituals and the book's in the car. I'll put an image of it up on screen. I've been reading the series. It's the Saffron Evele series. It's very, very good. Very good. If you like murder mysteries and you like plants, it's a botanist who solves murder mysteries. Really cool concept. Anyway, point is that I was trying to look for the book and I couldn't find it. I went to all 7 of the bookstores in my town. I ended up having to order it offline, but the lady at Barnes & Noble explained to me kind of how it works. Like, hey, if the distributors don't have it, they can't order it. And I don't know if that's just a corporate thing or what it is, but there's just small things like that I don't know. I've been trying for almost 2 years to find a job at a bookstore, and it feels impossible. There have been a couple of openings here and there at the myriad of bookstores in my city, but every time I apply, I either don't get called in for an interview or I just straight up get a rejection letter. And I don't know if like they're looking for someone with bookstore experience, but one thing that I have learned, I ended up befriending this girl that works at one of the bookstores in my town, and she said that basically nobody ever quits, because in order to work at a bookstore, you have to love books, and people who love books don't typically quit their jobs at bookstores. Once you get in, you're pretty much in there for life until you either retire or you finish school or whatever the case may be. And so it's quite frustrating. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's just the area I'm in, but it feels almost impossible. The second thing is, dude, shit's just too expensive nowadays, man. Like I had a pretty decent job. I was making like $16 an hour, 18, not 16 to $18 an hour, like $16.18 or something like that. And I was still barely able to, I was working 40 hours a week, still barely able to afford some of the bills. And I don't have a lot of bills. I thankfully, I don't have a lot of bills. The trailer that I live in, I bought this trailer about a year or two back. And so like, it's been mine for a long time. My mom and her boyfriend live with me. And, so it's really only, for me, it's really only lot rent. Now I had to pick up a car note for reasons that I've talked about before. And then I pay like the electricity, phone, and internet. Altogether, everything comes out to about, I think, like $2K a month, which is for a lot of people, $2K a month is pretty cheap in terms of bills. Like that's some of the cheapest you'll find. Like I know people whose rent is $2,000 a month. You know what I mean? And it was still hard to afford things. And, I wanted to downsize. I can't just leave my mom. My mom's disabled and, her boyfriend is I'm not going to get into that. But the point is that like, I didn't want to just leave my mom to try to pay, for everything by herself. So I stuck with her. But even like looking at like studio apartments, I was seeing prices in like $1,000 a month for a studio apartment for a single room with a bathroom attached, $1,000 a month. That is genuinely insane. Because I remember when I was growing up, studio apartments were like how people knew you were broke. Because if you lived in a studio apartment, it was like a $300 a month in rent, maybe $500 at the max. Right? $500 was like the fancy ones. Now it's like $1,000 for like a basic bitch studio in a rundown neighborhood in an apartment complex that probably is being ran by a drug dealer. You know what I mean? Shit's just so expensive. It's so expensive. Even my hobby of like reading books is like incredibly expensive. Books are like $20, $25 a pop now. I remember when you used to be able to buy them for like $10 a piece, and it's just bad, man. It's bad. It's so hard to have a peaceful life and to get into that situation that I'd like to be in. And this video really doesn't serve any purpose besides just kind of getting it off my chest. I've become frustrated. I've become frustrated. I feel like I've been working my ass off to try to get a peaceful life, to try to get the life that I really, really want. And it seems like no matter how hard you work, it just doesn't come. You know, you try to do everything that you can, and I desperately want to get out of Kansas. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kansas is worn out its welcome on my patience. This place is really fucking boring. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's ugly, it's flat, it's dull. Nobody interesting lives anywhere remotely close to me in this fucking state. Nobody that I've met anyway. I hate it. I hate it here, man. I wish I could move to somewhere like Colorado or Minnesota, even Georgia, you know, somewhere where like maybe there's some mountains kind of close. There's this really pretty town in Georgia that I went visit when I went visit my mom when she lived up there. I forget what it's called. It's like a German town though. It's like inside the mountains. That'd be cool. I'd like to live there. That's another thing too. Like trying to move states, like I keep trying to see like what's the best way to like move states, and you try to apply for jobs in other states, and I straight up had one job that I applied to. They're like, hey, your resume and everything's great, but you don't have an address here. And I was like, yeah, once you hire me, I will have an address there. You know what I mean? Because I'll be able to have income to go in and move, but like I'm not going to spend my savings, you know, like my $1,200-$1,500 in savings to move into a place where you're at if you're not going to hire me. And like they just don't ever want to do that. It's like not only is the job market in general shit, but like trying to get a job in a different state is actual dog shit. Like I have no idea how anybody's able to move if they don't work for like a corporation or something that they could just transfer to a different location. It's hell, man. It's general hell. But yeah, that's all I wanted to do with this video. Just to let you guys know as an update, the next like big project is going to be on Diogenes or Hazbin Hotel. My Hazbin Hotel video is sitting with my editor right now. I'm just waiting for Vim to finish it up, and once they do, then it'll be uploaded to this channel. But yeah, outside of that, Diogenes is my next historical figure. I'm gonna go pick up some books from the library on Monday, because as of me filming this, it is Easter Sunday. So you guys have a good Easter if you're watching this on Easter Sunday. If you're not, I hope you had a good Easter. And other than that, thank you very much to my channel members for helping me out to work toward my goals of, you know, opening a bookstore someday. I do promise you guys that a portion of the YouTube paychecks do go into a savings account to try to help me work toward that goal. So every little bit that you guys throw my way does help. Thank you guys for that. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.